Necrovalley.
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here with an updated Necrogoon Gravekeeper deck profile here. Super hyped to show you guys this brand new build. It's actually a bit of a throwback to one we did a bit while ago, but then I'm going to show you why this one works the absolute best in the current meta and why it's one of the best anti-meta strategies you can use. Don't forget to join our Twitch stream, link down below. Shout out to Team Yugioh and your playmat, and also join our Discord, guys. We got a great growing community of a bunch of players. I highly encourage you guys to check it out, and we run our free weekly tournaments in there too, so definitely be sure to slide through. I don't want to preface this too much. Let's get into the deck profile.
Oh, that sucks.
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here with a brand new Necrogoon deck profile. That's right, Gravekeepers are back, baby. One of the best anti-meta options that you can play right now. No joke. This deck is really good. And be sure to stick around for the whole video so you guys can see some of the replays at the end, playing this deck against some serious meta contenders. Anyway, before we get started, don't forget to check out our Twitch stream and the GG for free, our free weekly dueling book tournament. We hold it every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. EST. First place gets to win one of these gorgeous field centers, so be sure to check that out. And shout out for Cardboard Gaming for helping hook it up. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, starting things off, the monster lineup. You guys know how we do things. We got triple of the Gravekeeper's Commandant. This guy searches for your Necrovalley. 2100 with Necrovalley is face up. Sometimes that's relevant. You just got to beat your opponent to death with him. That's just how it be. Then we play the one copy, the Gravekeeper's Headman. Shout out to CJ Daniels for the dope misprint, as always. This guy brings back Commandant and lets you go into your Verte Anaconda. Helps facilitate your plays. Moving on from there, we've got the one Red Eyes Wyvern. You only need the one to go with your Red Eyes Insight package. And this is Necrogoon, so of course we are playing the Dragoon package. We've got our Red Eyes Black Dragon and our Dark Magician. Sucks to open them, just pray that you don't. Moving on to the spell card lineup, I got this pretty card. This is what really made me want to start playing this deck again. That, and we had a lot of fun with it on stream the other night. Boom. 3 copies in Necrovalley. We got the ultis finally. Now, there's other cards in this deck that need an upgrade for sure, but it's nice for the GK God to have these in his possession. Negates things in the graveyard, stops them from moving around. It's not like Abyss Dweller, it's more so a really strong counter to stop things from like Tri-Brigade, things that would special summon out of the graveyard, a whole bunch of stuff. It's so phenomenal, and it craps on a lot of the meta, so we definitely love to play this card as a 3 of. Moving on from there, we're playing triple copies of Royal Tribute. It's one of our win conditions. When you activate your Pot of Prosperity, there's 3 things you're reaching for. You more than oftentimes than not have 2 of them in your hand, and you're searching for the 3rd one. It feels, there's no better feeling in the world when you have Red Eyes Fusion in hand, a Way to Necrovalley in your hand, and you activate Pot of Prosperity and you reveal Royal Tribute. That is the god 3-card combo for this deck. So when you see it, it's amazing. Moving on from there, we got triple copies of the Necrovalley Throne that searches your deck to grab yourself either Commandant or Headman, depending on what you need in the situation. 3 copies of the Red Eyes Insight to search out your Red Eyes Fusion, which of course you're playing as a 3 of as well. It's a Dragoon Turbo deck. I know some people don't like that, but we got to enjoy this guy while he's legal, right? He might be sticking around a little bit longer. We got that gorgeous Starlight coming real soon, so I think this deck's especially relevant, especially if Dragoon's going to be sticking around a little longer. Can't wait to get my hands on one of those guys. Anyway, moving on, we are back to playing this engine. The Striker engine is rearing its head again. We're playing the 1 copy of Hornet Drones, the 1 Widow Anchor, and the 1 copy of Engage. So I think it's especially relevant. Having the Widow Anchor in deck is really good for turning off opponents' negates, things that are problematic, like in the Flunderies matchup when they got that stupid barrier statue up, or when they're going for a play with their trap card. This can stop them in their tracks. It's really important. And Engage gets you into either that or a 1-card Verte Anaconda in the form of the Hornet Drone. So that's why we play this. And when you get the draw off of Engage in this deck, it feels insanely good. Gotta say that much. But just so you're aware, you can't do the Engage draw on the same terms as your Prosperity. I'm sure most of us are aware of that, but, you know, just gotta reiterate that. Moving on, we got triple. That's right, triple copies of the Forbidden Droplets. You gotta do 3. Alright, I'm telling you, this is one of the best reactive cards you can play in the deck. And I get it, it's high cost, but it helps you facilitate game going second. This plus Red Eyes Fusion can be game against a lot of the meta, and you're going to see that in one of the replays at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around. And of course, as previously mentioned, we are playing the triple Pot of Prosperity. You need to play this card. You really don't want to do extra, because first and foremost, that means you got to own 3 Dragoons, and ain't nobody want to shell $300 for a card that could get banned, right? So Pot of Prosperity is the absolute way, and it lets you pick and choose exactly what you need, not draw into Dragoon pieces, which everyone knows I'm notorious for doing. And then finally, our last 2 cards, we've got the 1 copy of Terraforming to serve as an additional copy of Necrovalley, or as your copy of the Mystic Mine. That's right. Sometimes you got to take your opponent down to the mine, and when you do, you give them the win. That's it. Did I say give them the win? You take the win. You steal the win with the Mystic Mine, and sometimes it's very relevant. Similar way as Forbidden Droplets, or with one of our trap cards that you know probably already is going to be Metaverse. Speaking of the devil and he shall appear, we play the one Metaverse to either get into the Mystic Mine or the Necrovalley, whichever one's more relevant in the matchup. Moving on from there, the trap lineup, we changed it back up once again, but we just play the ones that actually are in FTK. Triple Torrential Tribute and triple Solemn Strike. I'm telling you right now, when you have these two cards together in their hand, you're winning that match. It's so hard to lose that match. Even when you go second sometimes, this can be super duper good. So highly, highly, highly encourage y'all to play this trap lineup as the what you end up going with. Let's move on to the extra deck, and we'll wrap things up with a side. Starting things off, of course, it's Necrogoon. We're playing the one copy Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. You don't need any more than one since we're doing Prosperity. One copy Verite Anaconda. You could theoretically do two in case the first one gets negated, but like, I'm not trying to spend more money on a Verite. I'm moving my extra copies. What are you talking about? I'm thinking back to when I used to play Prosperity in this deck, and it was wild. Anyway, the Striker engine, we play one of each. Kaina, Hayate, Shizuku, and Kagari. So you need 3 names to do the one card Verite Anaconda with the Hornet drones, but it's good to just play one of each because your extra deck is kind of next to irrelevant in this deck, and it also lets you, you know, you've got fun interactions here, right? Like Shizuku search and end phase. If you're not opening a real thing, you can use this to either grab Engage or Widow Anchor. Hayate for swinging for game and time, or kind of for gaining life and time. It could happen. It could theoretically happen, so we're trying to be prepared for any situation, right? Moving on from there, we got the one Nightmare Cerberus and the Nightmare Phoenix. Again, link 2s are key because you're going to struggle to put up anything more than a link 2. I put in one copy of Pentastag. Again, the extra deck is so irrelevant in here, but I was trying to think about, like, you know, what could work? You know, I used to play the 1850 Earth one that would steal Earth monsters out of the graveyard, but of course that conflicts with Necrovalley. I get it, you can search you a card like Commandant when it's sent to the grave, but it's just not worth it. So I thought of something that could actually be relevant. Dragoon plus a Headman Command Engrave play could theoretically say your opponent's got 3 monsters on field, you got to punch through something to get for game that's in defense, or there's a 0/0 token left on their field. Boom, Pentastag. There you go. Just a fun little thing. Same thing with the Geonator Transverser. Really hard to resolve the effect, but it's a fun little thing, and at best, or it's going to be banished fodder for your Prosperity. Moving on, of course, we are back to side decking the super polymerization in this build. So I've got the one copy of Winda and Shekanaga. So, you know, this one's a Dark and a Shadal. This one's an Earth and a Shadal, which Commandant is an Earth monster, so it could theoretically come up. We've got the Adagnister that for sucking up Cyverse monsters. The one Muddy Mud Dragon, which is going to be one of your most relevant targets, as well as the Starving Venom Dragon to take 2 dark monsters and turn them into him. It comes up, it really does help you win some matches, some that you might not have won otherwise. So, especially with people trying to do the Scythe Dagda play, you could suck up a Herald of Perfection or Ultimateness as well as a Dagda if they are playing that, or as well as a Scythe if they're going for that line of play in their deck. It's really good against the PKs too with the Starving Venom. Lots of darks on that ending board, so you can just suck them up real quick. That is that for the extra deck. Let's wrap things up with the side deck and then get into our replays. So we've got triple copies of the Droll and Lockbird. So as you guys are aware, we can't really do hand traps effectively in this deck, but when you're going second against one of those decks where it's especially relevant, you bring in the Drolls. When it's coming like Dragon Link, when it's coming like Drytron, you got to be ready for that matchup. You take out those Royal Tributes to put in those Droll and Lockbirds. We were playing against an FTK the other night, and the Droll was essential. So we're playing triple copies of that on the side, as well triple copies of Dark Ruler No More for those build-a-board decks when you're going second. As you know, Dark Ruler No More plus a Dragoon can mean clearing your opponent's entire field of interruptions. That's 3 monsters, boom, gone, and you're still ending on a negate. Back that up with a Necrovalley, some trap cards, you're chilling. Moving on from there, triple copies of the Cosmic Cyclone. We want that chain ability, right? Chain ability is key, and low cost is key, right? So I know we main deck the Droplets. It's the only high cost card we really choose to play, because you really got to conserve your card economy in a deck like this. But Cosmic Cyclone, we choose to go for this one rather than the Twin Twisters, because we don't want to be spending too many cards out of our hand, especially if we're already going second. The Cosmic is enough. Moving on from there, we got triple copies of the Super Polymerization. As previously mentioned, you saw our targets, you know what we're doing with this. And finally, triple copies of Inspector Border. For when we know we're going first, we can bring this card in. Now, I will say tentatively that the one thing I'm thinking about changing in the side deck is trying to find room for the Solemn Judgments in here again for when we know we're going first. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think we could change to bring in those Solemn Judgments? Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the replays. What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here. It's time for some replays. We're going to show you how Necrogoon does against some meta decks, and we are going to start off with Swordsoul, which is one of the most popular decks that you're going to be seeing right now. Now, first and foremost, we got fortunate enough to win the die roll here, and we are opening up quite nice, as you guys can see. It's going to be hard to lose a game with a hand like this. We start things off with the Pot Prosperity, netting ourselves the Commandant, which is going to give us that missing piece, that being the Necrovalley. Everything else goes back into the deck, and the first thing we're going to do is use that Commandant's effect to grab ourselves the Necrovalley out of the deck. Now that we have Royal Tribute in hand, you know we're going to be casting that. Make sure there's no chance that we can get hit with an Ash on the Red Eyes Fusion. We'll summon that guy, and we're just going to hold the Engage in hand for follow-up on the next turn. Now here, I let the Cosmic go, fearing that he could be able to out the Dragoon. I wasn't sure I was going to apply a pressure otherwise. Could have been a wrong move. We usually try and protect the castle here, but in this situation, it doesn't matter that much. I let the Ecclesia go, and I negate the effect of the Moyi, but it's unfortunate to know that he has the Swordsoul Emergence, which means if he has another name in hand, he's going to be able to follow up. But oh wait, he had normal summon yet. He can actually use the Tau to get into his level 8 Synchro plays. However, it's going to be very difficult for him to out a 4K Dragoon, so he looks like he's kind of just piecing together a board the best he can, using the Reborn spell to bring back that guy and get a token. The Draco Berserker comes out, but he's realizing it pretty quick, even when he summons the DPE, that he cannot out this Dragoon. So he ends up blowing up his own board to stopping himself from getting lethaled by the Dragoon. But Engage is going to get that free draw since we held it for follow-up. Going to go in for that 4,000, leaving with 200 life points, set to pass, and he knows that's all she wrote. We're going second into game 2 here, and let's see how that opening hand is. Oof, looking pretty good. Pretty savage that we open with the 1 of Engage both games, right? I think that's relatively unfair. Feeling like a striker player here. Our opponent goes for the Fleur-de-Lis as the first play. Fleur-de-Lis, what am I saying? Baroness de Fleur. And follows it up with a level 8 Synchro, searching himself the Reborn, and activating it to get him into a live trap card, I guess? Is that what this is? No, just keeping a droplet on lock. Understandable, though. He's fearing the card. But we end up locking up the Engage, going for the Widow Anchor here. And the Widow Anchor is going to let us chain to negate the floor, and then resolve our Red Eyes Fusion, which is going to put us in a very similar situation to earlier. But oh wait, we're getting droplets, which means we're going to have to banish some cards from the extra deck, see what we can excavate. Grabbing ourselves a Torrential Tribute. That's going to be some nice follow-up on the opponent's turn. Put him in a real difficult, tricky situation here, because we got that FTK I told you all about, Strike plus Torrential. So he enters battle to crash with his Baron, and that puts us in a bit of a tricky situation here. We're going to take that 28. Going to be able to pitch 2 out of the opponent's hand, but we're taking 28s each turn. It's rough for sure. But we end up dropletsing our own Necrovalley, so we're able to Wyvern in phase to bring back the Dragoon. We flip up Torrential Tribute to wipe out our opponent's field, go for that 3k swing, and we're keeping the Dragoon on lock. And now it's the moment of truth. Grab the Necrovalley, we got Headman in hand, use it, normal summon, bring back Commandant, and that's lethal going for game. Let's check out this next replay. Alright guys, moving into the next replay, it is going to be against Swordsoul once again. I think this is a pretty relevant deck. This time we got the Tenyi variant that we're facing down against. And this happened pretty late at night after our stream. He's only going for a 3-piece from the start because he's also teching in the DPE. Very strong start on his side. He reveals the Vishuddha, keeping some of that knowledge like the level 6 guy in hand a secret for now. Grabbing himself the Blackout, then going for the Long Yang to get into the Baron de Fleur, ending on the standard board after inflicting 1200 burn. Oh wait, let's not forget the DPE's coming out, sets to pass. Start things off with the Red Eyes Insight, grabbing ourselves the Red Eyes Fusion, cast the Fusion, he uses Baroness, I chain droplets, and he can't cross out the droplets since I set a spell, which is so cheeky. Dragoon effect to blow up 2, enter battle, clear his last monster, and then we're going to set up the Necrovalley, go for the Prosperity, see if we can grab a trap card. Doesn't even matter. He doesn't let us get that far. Now we're going into the next game. I'm going to show you guys how killer this combo is. Look at this. We opened the droplets plus the Red Eyes Fusion once again, but it would have been the same deal if we had Dark Ruler. Just less damage, but same board clearance. Now his hand's looking very similar to the previous game. He goes 6 deep this time, really wants to find a play. Starts off with the Moyi, reveals the Emergence. And this is going to be very similar to before. Gets himself the Long Guy. Gets himself the Tau. Long Guy is going to pitch the Tau for a summon. This is going to put him into the Baron. There we go. Goes for the Fusion Destiny. locks up the DPE, sets 1, and passes turn. Starting things off with the Red Eyes Fusion Chain Droplets once again, no negates to be seen. We're literally going to do the same move. Blow up, battle, swing. Very nice. Main phase 2, go for the pot. Let's see if we can hit that Necrovalley. Oh, you know we're going to hit that Necrovalley. Think about how many copies we play. I didn't do the safest bet, but I sent the Commandant, you know, theoretically added off throne, pitch Commandant, search Necrovalley, bada bing, bada boom, slap it up, set a trap card, pass turn. Goes for the Cosmic. We're going to end up negating this for sure, and that's going to be all she wrote because the Necrovalley is applying that kind of pressure. Doesn't let the DPE come back. Think about it. So many decks are playing DPE right now. Do you really want to let it come back? Just say no. Activate Necrovalley. Let's move on to the next one and our final replay. This one is super short, guys. I just wanted to show you how funny it is. So we're going first. Of course we are. And let's check out this gas, all right? Boom. Starting things off with the Pot of Prosperity. Getting Ash, but that's great. It was bait. Now we activate Red Eyes Fusion. Get out our Dragoon. Beautiful. And set 1 pass. He goes, this is interesting, but we did have 3 spells engraved. So I take his Zoo King Alpha, I negate his Obedience Schooled, and he literally quits. And this was against Melfi Tri-Brigade, which is a pretty decent deck as well. I think the Lyrelix build is definitely better, but hey man, we were just able to do him dirty that quickly. Anyway guys, that's all I got for this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already done so, join the Discord, join the Twitch stream. I'll see you guys in the next video, or live on our Twitch stream. LoganJYA signing off, have a great day, and I'll see you chumps later. Peace. 心の隙間埋め